Hi there, it's Nicole for Lawn Fawn, and today I have a card featuring the Let's BBQ stamp set. This is a new stamp set from Lawn Fawn, and I have paired it with some cute ants from the Happy Summer stamp set, as well as the trees from the Let It Snow stamp set, which was a Christmas stamp set from a couple years back. To start, I am going to do some masking here. I've stamped the stake first, and then I stamped it again on a little piece of Post-it tape. I'm going to cut around that and place it directly over the stake that I have already stamped. When you're doing some masking like this, you want to start with the image that is going to be in the front, and then you can move on to the additional image or images. In this case, I am going to be stamping those flames, so those are going to go next and the grill will be last. I'm going to stamp the flames about 3 times. I just have to use that grill so I can kind of figure out exactly where I want those flames to go. I'll stamp all 3 of those, and then again, just like with the stake, I am going to need 3 of those masks to use right over the flames that I stamped so that I can stamp the grill next. So I'm going to cut around all of those, place them on top of the stamped images, and then I'll be ready to stamp the grill. There is the last mask that I'm going to need. Next, I'm going to grab that grill, ink it up really good, and then line that up right where I want it to go and press that down in place. Then I can remove all of the masks and I will have a single image that I can color and cut out to place on my cute little barbecue scene card. I am going to start by coloring the grill. I'm going to color it red. I'm starting with R24, and then I will pull in a little bit of R89. That's going to be my darkest color. It's going to be a really nice deep dark red. I'm going to use that pretty sparingly, and then I'm going to add in some R46 and pull that down just a little bit further. That R24 is mostly going to end up being the highlight or the lightest portion of that image. And then I'm going to go back in with the R89 again and pull in some of that dark color, especially there in the corners and there on the background and things on that back edge of the grill. Next, I'm going to color in the legs of the grill gray, or kind of build up to a grayish, dark gray black with W8 and W6. And then I'll color in the stake image. I'm going to do a little E50 here. It's very, very light. In fact, I think my marker is a little dry. I need a refill for this one, I think. Pull in a little E55 and blend that out. The stake portion itself, I started with E08 and then decided to move on to E09. I liked that a little bit better. And then I'll use E79, which is going to be a deep dark color. I'm going to, instead of using the E50, I'm going to do a little E30 there. Again, with my E79, I'm going to add a little bit more of that and blend it out with E09. And just add in a little bit dark again. Go in with E55, darken up some of those lighter areas. For the flames, I'm going to be using Y19, YR04, and R24. Put Y19 down as my base color, then I kind of feathered in some YR04 and a very tiny bit of R24. Blend that out until I get the flames a nice smooth color. For the charcoal in the grill, I am using warm gray 6 and 8, and I'm using a dot technique. Now, I decided to go in and pull in a little R24 for the inside of that grill because it's not all going to be black. And then I am going to fill in with these dots, and I want to make sure I get rid of all of that white you see in there, but I'm using the dot technique and not using a smooth coloring technique because it helps give the illusion that it's charcoal. So I'm going to make sure I get that good and the dots all in there. I'm going to go around some of those little pieces with just a very tiny little bit of outline. And then I'm taking the Sakura Stardust glitter pen and adding some dots, and that's going to really give it that charcoal look in that part of the grill. I used the Wink of Stella clear glitter brush marker over the flames because that's a nice smooth glitter. Next, I'm going to take the stitched hillside borders from Lawn Fawn and lay them out on my background. And then I'm going to take a pencil and draw a line so that I have a point of reference there to stamp my trees in the background on my card. So that'll get covered up and you won't ever see it, but this is going to give me a nice line to follow for stamping my trees. And I'm using these great trees from the Let It Snow stamp set, which is a Christmas stamp set, but these trees work great for any time. So I'm using soft olive ink from Hero Arts and the olive ink from Simon Says Stamp, and first and second generation stamping to really give the illusion of a lot of these great pine trees. And I'm going to fill up that entire border. I love these trees. This is going to be a great background. I wanted something different than the traditional just like blue sky and clouds background. And I thought it would be fun to make it look like a backyard barbecue with a great forest in the background there. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in the rest of my border with a few more trees. That second generation stamping gives the illusion of trees further in the distance. And once that is all filled in, I'm going to take some tumbled glass distress ink, and then you don't have to worry about masking or anything like that. This is a pretty light color, and I am going to completely cover this top portion of the card so that it looks like the sky is blue back behind these trees. So I'm using a circular motion to apply that distress ink all over. Make sure it gets a nice, good, even coverage. I don't have to go all the way down this sheet of paper because I'm going to be covering up that bottom half with a couple of those stitched hillside borders. I'm going to go ahead and die cut those now from from another sheet of white cardstock. I'm going to have two of them there to build my landscape in the forefront of my card. Run those through the Big Shot, and then I'm going to be applying some distress ink to these as well. So there's what my two borders are going to look like. And then I will take the peeled paint distress ink and apply that to both of the borders until I completely cover them. And that's going to give me a nice coordinating, or two nice coordinating borders to the rest of the design of the card. I love being able to create my own backgrounds and borders and things by taking a white sheet of paper and coloring it with distress inks. So I want to make sure I get these nice and covered. I'm going to do both of these the same. And there's what the first one's going to look like. I'll go ahead and do the second one real quick. You could do these in two different colors too if you wanted a little bit more variation, or you could combine two colors on one of the borders. Lots and lots of different ways to do this. So I'm going to blend and blend these until I get a pretty nice, even, smooth coverage. And then there's what my background looks like. I am ready to take the ants from the Happy Summer stamp set, and I'm going to be stamping those along the edge of the front border. So this border that's along the front edge, bottom edge of the card, I stamped the long trio of ants to the right of the grill, and then the single ant I'm going to put over here. He's the one who's going to be holding the grill fork. And the rest of the ants are going to be carrying off the rest of the grilled food. While I have the My Favorite Things hybrid ink out, I'm going to go ahead and stamp that grill fork as well as a hamburger and hot dog from the Let's BBQ stamp set. The greeting is also from the Let's BBQ stamp set. I can stamp that right along the bottom. And then I want to go ahead and color in these additional images for the card. It all started with the grill, and then the idea kind of built on that. I love these ants from the Happy Summer mini stamp set, and I thought they would be really fun. I created another card here a week or so ago for Father's Day that had ants carrying off some summer grilled food and stuff, and it's somewhat similar, but I thought it would be fun to kind of revisit it. So I am going to color in the ants' bodies with the Sakura black gel pen. It just gives them a little bit more dimension. Very subtle, but makes them even darker black. You can see there the difference, plus very, very slight dimension, which I love. And then I will color in my other images. I'm going to use warm gray 4 and 6 for the tongs on the grill tool. For the handle, I want it to look kind of like a wooden handle, so I'm using E55 and E57. Very, very quick coloring there. Move on to the hot dog. I started with E55, kind of coloring that down the middle, and then went around the edges with E09. Then blended with E55, which you can see it took quite a bit of work to get it to blend. I'm going to go ahead and put in another layer of E09, blend again with E55. I'm going to color my hamburger with E57, E55. Because I'm fussy cutting these, I can go outside the lines if I need to. And then for the grill marks, I'm using E79. That's a nice dark color. It's going to definitely give definition to the grill marks, especially on the hot dog, I think. I think those turned out really cute. Then I fussy cut all 3 of those images. I'm going to use one of the stitched rectangle dies to die cut my scene now so that it's not the size of an A2 card. It's going to be slightly smaller. And that way it'll give a nice white border on the edge of my finished card. I'm going to attach both of those borders to my background, take some post-it tape to hold that stitched rectangle in place, and then die cut that using my Big Shot die cutting machine. That is going to cut off a little bit of the edges, but that is no big deal. That's fine. I want the ants to look like they're coming in from one side and leaving off the other. I can go ahead and attach the grill now, which has also been fussy cut, and the grill fork that the ant is holding. I use acrylic blocks to hold pieces down. I felt like I needed one more grilled item, so I'm using this mushroom from the Let's BBQ stamp set, colored with warm gray 00, 2, and 4. Fussy cut it as well. I can glue down and attach all of my grilled food now to my card. Looks like the ants are carrying it off, and the one ant is trying to get the steak off of the grill and take off with it. A couple of those ants kind of lost some of their dimension when I ran them through the Big Shot, so I just went over them again with the Sakura black gel pen. And then I want some smoke coming off of those the fire there on the grill, so I'm going to use some white pigment ink and stamp that little smoke trail from the Let's BBQ stamp set about 3 times there, coming off the top of the grill. Finally, I will attach the whole panel to a white card base, and my card is all finished. Thanks for watching this video showcasing the new Lawn Fawn Let's BBQ stamp set. The supplies I've used are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Please subscribe for weekly card making and stamping videos. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.